From the president to you, he keeps it real. He's the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Keeping it real, keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. Before we go to Hot Button Monday, I want to go to Alabama. There is a case that requires urgent and very serious attention for us around the country that is going on in Birmingham, Alabama. I spoke last week with the fighting Congresswoman Terry Sewell, who is the Congresswoman there in Birmingham and Selma, all in that area. And she brought something to my attention that we're going to talk about here on this show and on my television show. And I'm going to Alabama to rally around this because this is absolutely horrific and has the potential of going into other parts of the country if they get away with it. Let me welcome on the live line the Congresswoman from the 7th District in Alabama. She's also accompanied by George Bowman, who is the Democratic County Commissioner of Jefferson County in Alabama. How are you, Congresswoman Sewell?
Thank you so much, Rev. Both Commissioner Bowman and I are quite appreciative of the opportunity to really share with your listeners our grave concern about the closing of our public hospital here in Jefferson County, Birmingham, Alabama.
Now, explain to people around the country how who this hospital services, and then how are we facing a possible closing?
Well, this hospital has been open since 1972. It's run by the county, Jefferson County, and it is to provide health care to indigent and the poor. So it is a public hospital that has provided for the last 40 years, inpatient care, urgent care, care period for the indigent. And Jefferson County Commission, it's a Republican-led commission, voted 3-2 September 11th to cease admitting inpatients to Cooper Green Mercer Hospital. We call it Cooper Green, and we just want justice for our community. I mean, there is no plan of action as to what will happen as far as indigent care after December 1st. They made a decision to close down Cooper Green in 90 days with no proposal on how to provide patient care for the indigent in our community. This is a hospital that has been around for 40 years. It services over 150,000 residents in our community per year, and it's really an outrage that such partisan politics would affect the poor. We've seen that time and time again, and this community just won't have it. I know that our county commission, the two Democratic members of the county commission, have been fighting hard, and I know that Commissioner Bowman, who is here, has been on the forefront of trying to make sure that we keep inpatient care and Cooper Green open.
Now, Commissioner Bowman, first of all, thank you for coming on. You know, I'm very sensitive about this. My mother died in Alabama March of this year in a facility like this in Dothan. And are you telling me they are talking about closing this without any kind of guidance and plans on what to do to these that are being serviced there? I mean, this is inhuman.
As it stands right now, Reverend Sharpton, there is no plan whatsoever for the transition of care for existing patients or for future patients. There is no plan at all. They decided to shut down the inpatient care services of the hospital, which essentially closes the hospital because you cannot have an emergency room without an accompanying hospital to admit patients that require admittance. So by doing that, they've essentially decided to shut down the hospital and turn it from a hospital to an urgent care clinic.
But Reverend Sharpton, they're saying it's going to become a clinic, but what's to happen to all those folks who are indigent, uninsured, poor,
right,
who on December 2nd need help, come to Cooper Green? There is no accompanying agreements with area hospitals to admit them, to do anything. I mean, that to me is the ultimate outrage. At the end of the day, we understand that Jefferson County is in bankruptcy, but why are they trying to balance the budget of Cooper Green on the backs of the poor, of the county on the backs of the poor. It's something that you have fought all your life against such injustices, and I'm so appreciative that you're allowing us to rally this nation around such an injustice as this.
Now, the vote was on partisan lines. Am I right, Mr.
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes. It was 3-2 with the, matter of fact, along partisan lines and racial lines as well.
And this hospital services a lot of African Americans, I believe.
Yes, it does. It serves a lot of African Americans, also the Hispanic population here. It also serves a number of Caucasian citizens who also utilize their services as well. There's just as many of them that are poor as us as well.
Well, I intend to do this on the TV show. I intend to set a date with Congresswoman Sewell. Come down there. I didn't care if it was all white or all black. It's wrong. Congresswoman, how can people get more information around the country? Is there a website or a number people could call that we can get the information as we work on a rally date?
Absolutely. They can call my office, my Birmingham office, and that's area code 205-254-1960. And I just want to say, without closing down Cooper Green, without a transition plan, I mean, the reality is there are 500 employees that have had jobs at Cooper Green for the last 40 years, many of whom, 200, will lose their jobs when it closes. 150,000 poor people will know who come into to Cooper Green and depending upon those services will now no longer know where to go. And, you know, Commissioner Bowman and myself, our office have been flooded with concerns from the community as to what will happen to them. There's also a website, savecoopergreen.com. That is critically important, and 250 jobs have already been lost this week because of the closing of Cooper Green, the planned closing of Cooper Green. It's just really unacceptable that provisions are not being made for our indigent care. All right, well, we're going to step up the heat. SaveCooperGreen.com. Go and look it up, and you'll hear in the next 48 hours what day we come into Alabama and stand with Congresswoman Sewell and the commission there, Mr. Bowman and others. This is a human rights issue. Thank you, Congresswoman. I'll talk to you later today. Let me take my break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton right after this.